Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I'm out at the beach. Let me see if y'all can see it. Yeah, I'm out at the beach. However, we're getting ready to go into like almost 90% chance of rain starting at noon. So, I even brought my spiritual bag. I have everything in that bag. And so, however, it's just funny because they had an art show set up down here and you can't get across and you have to go all the way around. And it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go back home. But then I was like, well, I still want to see like the waves. I know the waves get really high, and because I missed the sun coming up at 7:09. So anyway, just going around and finding a way around, and then realizing that, hey, it's only 2 bridges over. That's gonna be something with the hurricane hits. Better start swimming. Can't swim because the alligators and snakes. Anyway, so I don't even know why I'm thinking about that. So nothing you can do about it. Which is part of what I was thinking, just in the spiritual community. Like there's only 2 people that I still listen to out of, like, on a regular, out of the let's see, 1, 2, 3 people. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. So out of 5, I only regularly listen to 2. And one, this young man, Q Reeves, he's really great. You just gotta wait a minute sometimes on listening to him, because he has, like, he doesn't even like go as deep as he could go. He's impressive. And then the other one is Beyond the Veil with Sharice. Oops. With Sharice and Chris. I was sending my mirror down. I'm thinking it's the rain. So that's another sign. Yeah. And even in listening to them, I listen to Black Magic 365 sometimes, not as much. And just the question on the table for me when we're talking about all this stuff, I know people are talking about the metaverse. I posted something about the metaverse, and the whole thing with me is like, if you are not healthy physically in this realm, whatever realm it is. So just right now, if we take where we are right now listening to this video, and in where we are right now listening to this video, you're not healthy, then one, if you look at the Oculus and all of that it entails on your face and smushing on your face and all that, and if you look at that and you are kind of healthy, like not really healthy, but you know, you're way overweight, the doctor's already told you about all these things, like how long are you going to be able to sit in that position? You know, no matter how much you're enjoying what you're watching, you're not going to be able to sit there for long. The other thing is, people have to go to work, and it doesn't matter how much you enjoy it, you know, I mean, after X amount of days or months, you're going to lose your car, your house, all that stuff like that. And if you have families, then how long is someone in your family going to let you just do that? So the whole, like, it just seems like just that mindset that the metaverse is gonna take over, or something's gonna happen, or, you know, just, oh, the metaverse, you know. And I'm just like, it something else has to happen to sustain itself. And it's like 1 + 1 makes 2. Majority of the world has to work. So now you're only talking about 1%. I mean, go to Forbes. I'm not going to quote percentages, I don't know, but you know what it is. Go to Forbes magazine. So only those people on the list are the ones who have enough money where they could probably sit around for the next 20 years or something, 15 years, but however, mentally that's not what people do, because if it was, they would just get, X amount of money that they need to survive for the rest of their life, and they would stop and enjoy their lives. But no, they don't. People have billions of dollars, and it's like, even in your own lifetime, your kids, your grandkids, your great great grandkids, you can't spend that amount of money. You can only lose that money. I'm not driving, I'm sitting at the beach, guys. You can only lose that amount of money if the government puts a hold on your money because of taxes, or the economy just, they stop using, the dollar, and everything bottoms out. So it's just, my thoughts are, if something is happening, like, why put the energy of the past on the new and unknown? Are there other entities, spirits, people from other worlds that can come here? We look into the stars all the time. Is there something else out there? Are there people sitting on their planet saying the same thing about us? And it just amazes me, the kind of negative, I consider negative, mean-spirited, they're going to get us, they're going to, like, what alien, what other spiritual force? I mean, the only one really in the United States that we are even willing to say is Jesus was here on earth physically. The other one is, for Islam, they say Muhammad was on the earth physically. The Indians, or India or whatever, says Buddha was here physically. So other than those, few entities or people who transcended into godlike status, they supposedly came from here. So we haven't had someone come from somewhere else and say they're anything and then hurt anyone. So as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm good with that. I mean, just show me where some being has come to do something. Every single time something's happening, even in the movies, it's always we go to space, or something comes from space and it hurts us. And it's like, where is that coming from? And to me, I'm addressing it to the spiritual community, because it's like, in the spiritual community, if God is God, nothing's going to happen to you in those religions who believe God. So all those scriptures and stuff, nothing's going to happen. It doesn't matter what alien being or spiritual being or anything comes. You can't be possessed. You can't be taken over. Things can't happen like that. So either your God is God or is not. In the spiritual community, I don't even know what to say, because it's not really any God or anything like that. It's just a series of, talking about gods and talking about these things, or different things happening, spirits or whatever. It's always someone's trying to come get you. Always. And I'm just telling you, if I was a powerful being and I wanted to get you, I'm not going to spend decades and hundreds of years just trying to get a people that I can just get in 1 second. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And now that we're closer to supposed, people are talking about going to Mars, and people are different signs and different things like that, and different things happening. And it's like, still, if any alien or other spiritual being other than what yourself is turned on the TV here, say they came in, you all don't know they came in, because obviously they're more powerful than all of us, according to all the fear stuff that's going out there, and they just happen to turn on the TV or turn on one of the spiritual shows. It's just always negative. It's always, they're gonna hurt us, keep your guard up. And I'm like, you're perpetuating the same thing why people have problems with people for their skin or their religion or for their choice of who they want to marry or be involved with or whatever. It's like you're perpetuating that same thought. It's like, where's the thought where your energy and your frequency is saying, hey, I have no control over what's getting ready to happen. I don't know if, like the Bible says, be careful you entertain angels unaware. I don't know what that means. So if you just take the context of someone is saying that at some point a being other than themselves, look like them or whatever, how you can tell is not them because they just materialize and then dematerialize, came, they saw them, they helped them with something, and then they left. So in the light of that, if there are other beings who can do that and come here, why is your first thought they're going to harm you? Because they can do something you can't? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm like, if a new world is coming and all this other kind of stuff, why a new world shouldn't come? Because the same mentality is driving the new world. It's like just saying, like even with the metaverse, it's like people are already demonizing the metaverse. However, they used to demonize the internet. I remember when people used to demonize the credit card, the numbers, oh, you're going to just be given a number and use a number. Guess what? I rarely have cash. When someone asks for cash, I'm like, cash? So I do function by numbers. I do have numbers. I do function by numbers. And guess what? It's no 666. Nothing. Any of that stuff that was told when I was a child. None of that's going on. So with the metaverse, I mean, what's the difference between the metaverse and Atari? I don't play video games. I used to play video games. I really liked video games. Somewhere along the way, life took over and video games weren't important to me. And then when I thought I would get back into them and bought them again, I just didn't have the time because I had myself and my kids to take care of. I was divorced, so we're not going to talk about that. That's for my other group, Families and Babies in 2022. Anyway, so it's like I'm just saying, I'm not mean-spirited to anything that comes. Like even recently I had this experience and I got so much help from the tribe that I'm in, the people who are in our tribe. And so Mama Bear, I asked her because I just couldn't get this energy that was scaring me out of my house. And she just calmly was like, that's just you. And I'm like, I never thought about that. I never thought about it. And so Sufi came to town and he asked, the energy approached Sufi, and Sufi got rid of it, scared the shit out the energy. I felt bad. The energy was trying to get out, and I don't know what happened that it couldn't just get out the house. I opened the door, and I just spoke to the energy, and I said, okay, I'm gonna come open the door so you can get out. However, do not mess with me. And the energy left. And then when I shut the door, I just felt bad. I'm like, oh man, I was scared because I didn't know. I felt the energy there and I didn't know what it was. I was afraid. And it's nothing wrong with being afraid when something's new. It may save your life. Don't be like the people in the movies. Oh, what is it? Let me look. So the energy at the time, whether I wasn't available to listen to it or hear it out or whatever, because every time it would come to my bed, I would be scared. I felt like another energy was telling me to not, just be still so that energy couldn't bother with me or whatever. However, I never just said, you know what, fuck it. Even if I have to turn the lights on, whatever, so I won't be scared just from what I've learned and been indoctrinated into being scared. It's like just fucking turn the light on and be like, okay, what do you all want? What do you want? Because obviously, if you were able to harm me, you would have done that while I was asleep. You can still do it now while I'm saying, what the F do you want at any point? So if you're not going to do any of those, then let's talk, because I want this over with and I want to go to sleep. And I never thought about doing that. So eventually, over time, I started thinking about what Mama Bear said. And I'm like, I'm release myself. I'm like, the energy and stuff I released from myself, what if it has a life of its own? You know, what if it's me releasing that energy off of myself was its birth process, and it went on in its life, and I'm going on in mine. And what I noticed is that that energy that was scaring me was energy that I had. I recognized it, and I was like, oh wow, that's what that was. And it was coming back to see if I would take it back. And I was like, no, you know, I appreciate that energy that helped me get to this moment. They helped me get through the tough times. However, you know, I just started saying that recently, the past month or so, no, probably September, that everyone just, I get it now. Everyone just has to find their own way. That is not the event that caused you to be upset with a person. It's the moment that you have your aha moment. And some people, I'm sure, can have aha moments by themselves through whatever. However, a lot of us have aha moments through interacting with another person or situation or whatever. At that moment that you see yourself or get like what, something's going on, that's where you stop going back and forth with a person or situation, and you get into your closet, meditate or whatever you want to call it, and you find out like what is going on. And I know I used to say a long time ago, because there was so much spooky stuff going on in the church when I was in the church from little. It's always like, I'm just not gonna live. I don't want to be killed. I know it's gonna hurt. However, it's just gonna hurt for a second, whatever. So just get it over with. I'm not the person who you can just stand in front of. I'm gonna do this. Either you're gonna do something to me, or when I get a chance while you're not looking, I'm gonna do something to you to get away from you, so I don't have to live like that. You know, I'm like, who wants to live up under something I'm gonna do? I'm not worried about a person who's always saying that, or a thing who's always saying that. Unless you're holding me captives in bondage, I mean, I'm going to get away from you. I'm going to walk willingly away from you. And if I can't, I'm going to do something to sneak away from you. Something's going to happen. The last resort is hurting anybody. I don't believe in that. I'm not going to do that. However, is whatever I need to do to get away, I'm getting away. And I'm not letting whatever it is, back in my life. And no matter what it is. So it's like, even with the spiritual stuff, it's like, I'm not gonna be doing that, you know? So anyway, back to the energy, was like, okay, so what's up? And so then I started realizing that, is it possible that when we release energy, when we're going through Reiki experiences and stuff, and we're getting that energy off of us and stuff like that, is it possible that that energy is now born and has to find its own way? Because that's what I started saying. I'm just like, you know what? People, anyone, no matter what their titles are, anything, everybody has to find their own way. And even the energy and stuff that I release has to find its own way. You can't come back to me. Fine, you can come back and say, you know, are you sure you want us to go, me to go, whatever. I'm like, hell yeah, that's why I did the whole thing to get rid of you. I don't need that anymore. Thank you, I appreciate you, but you have to go find your own life too. And I just noticed how different my life is since I stopped being available to that energy and stop being afraid of stuff like that. Because it's just one or two things are going to happen. Either what I'm afraid of is going to go ahead and do what I'm afraid it's going to do, or it's not. And why would I sit on YouTube, podcasts, or whatever and just talk about it over and over and over again? Oh, well, this and these and these. It's like, if these entities, if anything, is stronger than you, and you're telling me it's waiting hundreds and thousands of years to come do something to you. I mean, look around. Every civilization or whatever has been wiped out. You don't see cavemen supposedly still walking around again. You don't see all these different, you don't see those things happening. So if that's the plight of what's going to happen with us, that's what happened with the caveman. You think the caveman would be like, hey, we want you to make room for the 21st century. You mind sliding over by death? The cavemen be like, no, I'm valuable. My family's valuable, whatever. So, yes, you're valuable. Yes. However, if it's stuff that you just don't have any control over, if whatever it is, like that stupid movie, The Eternals. Oh, that was such a waste of time. So anyway, these big, they show gods and like the big, huge, bigger than the earth, bigger than the universe or whatever, and it comes up. And so if that wants to just take the earth in his hand like a globe and toss it, which then kills all 8 billion people on this planet, or almost 8 billion, then what can you do? What can you do? You can't do nothing. So it's like a waste of your time. And if other entities are coming here, other beings are coming here, maybe their worlds were destroyed and they're just coming to say, hey, our world was destroyed, there's nothing we can do, so we want to live here, or can we live here, or can we share? It's like a neighbor moves in next door and you're just like, oh, that house, somebody moved in that house, and I don't know who they are, and the newspaper disappears every day at 4 p.m. Go knock on the door and say, hi, neighbor, welcome. And why in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, in your spirit, with your crystals and everything else, do you believe that something just manifested to just hurt you? Can you just heal yourself to get out of that place? And it's like with everything that's going on in the world, it doesn't matter if someone created it or someone didn't. You can't do nothing about it. And the things that we can do something about, which is your health. And I'm even in that situation myself. My doctor told me don't weigh more than 155. I'm 160. And I was 148 and I was 134. No matter what, as my issues come up, I put on weight. And I don't put on as much weight as I did before, because in my healing, I'm checking myself. I'm asking myself, like, okay, Storm, that's cool. Go ahead and eat your third hamburger. However, what's really going on? And I keep asking myself, what's really going on? What's really going on? So I can get at that part. So the part of me that usually would just eat till I'm 200 pounds isn't doing that anymore. It's more invested in, hey, I've seen the good feeling I have from being healthy. And I understand I can't keep jacking my health up and down like a yo-yo, because soon your body's going to give out. It just wasn't made to do that over and over again. And then plus, it's just either be unhealthy or healthy. Stop it. It's like the dog that runs around chasing his tail. You just run around chasing your tail. For what? Doing what? So I don't know. I just wish that everything that's happening, the metaverse, are aliens coming, or this and that happening, like why, or different spirits and stuff like that. Like Mama Bear you always say, she's like, just send it into the vortex. It's like, you have all this stuff going on, just, hey, I have a right to myself, and I'm exercising my right as myself. So whatever energies floating around or trying to do this, that, release you into the vortex. And either you can transmute and come back in love, or you can go. I always just say go, because anything I got to tell to go and it didn't figure out by itself how to be here lovingly, I'm just, go find your own journey. And then I even got to the point where I had to do some banishment stuff. I'm just like, okay, I mean, I want energy to survive. It had its place. It no longer has its place with me. So either you can go create and enjoy yourself, create your life or whatever, turn into whatever you turn into. You just can't do it with me anymore. So at that point, some of the energies seem to be more strong, more determined, and I'm just like, I'm with you. You can be as determined as you want to. You just can't be determined where I begin and you end. It's my space. So I'm like, okay, banishment. And then I've had to be like, okay, banish. And that's gone. The energy's gone. Don't even know where it is. Can't come back to check, whatever. And so then it's kind of like I just set that intention around myself. It's like I'm on my healing journey. I'm releasing energies. I'm releasing the things that I used to need to remind me to be where I was at. And it's like I no longer need those things. I no longer need things to remind me to be where I'm at. I have my enjoyable things, my rings, my silver, my chakra, my hair, the stuff like that. I have my enjoyable things. And I am getting to know myself, and in knowing myself, that's all that I need. And so whatever needs to be released on that, it just has to be released, and you just have to go your way. And that's, spirit or human or whatever anything calls itself. It's like, can't function in my space unless I say so. And then things that I say are okay, like it's like I'm cool with spirits, entities, gods or whatever, different things like that. I'm okay with all that. I have no problem, because I understand, it's not like I'm gonna get in their presence and, oh, you have control of me, what do you want me to do? It can't happen. It just can't happen. So, the startleness, if I see a being that's 10 feet tall and I'm not used to seeing, if I was around Shaq every day, first time I saw Shaq, I would be like, oh shoot, he's big. But if I was around him every day, I'd be like, oh, what's up, Shaq? That's just Shaq. Same thing. If you see different entities, beings, whatever, it's just like, hey, what's up? Okay, cool. All right. But the first couple of times you may be startled, After that, it's just like, hey, I have my EGG, I have my spiritual guides and different things like that. I have my guardian angel, Muddy Waters, who watches over me. So I'm like, when I think about spirits and different things like that, I have tribe that watches over me. So it's like, even if it gets through tribe, even if it gets through any of the other beings that watch over me, the last one is EGG, who speaks for all of them. And it's like, only if the ones who want my good, even with my ancestors, it's like only my ancestors who want my good, so any of that. So you just can't come around me physically or spiritually. You just can't anymore, And so with my own healing from being a bitter Black woman, from being very mean and angry and hateful for majority of my life, it's just amazing with my healing and stuff, how mean and angry and bitter and against people are. It just amazes me. It's like, okay. So that's all. So whatever spirits or entities or whatever, you have a right to, hey, just like you pass somebody on the street and they're passing too close to you, like, are you all right? Did you need something? You're okay? Because you're, walking right up on me. I'm just wondering. And not to start a fight. The person could be like, oh, I was watching my phone, I didn't realize it. Or, oh, I smelt your perfume, I thought, or oh, I thought you were someone else, so I was trying to get a look at you. Like, the first thing I'm not thinking about is fighting or hurting that person or believing that that person came to hurt me. So I just don't get it. So I'm just putting out there to the spiritual community, just asking to include that in your whole metaverse things like that. I still don't understand metaverse. I don't understand, like, we're going to be taken over. We're not going to. I mean, if the world has cycled through where we don't have jobs. It's people who, I work with computers. It's people who were doing paperwork, and their jobs been replaced because I do it on my laptop. Jobs are going to be lost. It's people, even with everything that's going on in the world, who are losing their homes, are losing where they're going to live. All of that stuff is happening, and we're still surviving. So if, they were telling us decades ago that robots were going to replace jobs. Well, they have replaced jobs, and those people have gone on to do something else, or don't have a job, or whatever. It happens. You go to factories, and so many factories are run by robots. They just have the people there to make sure the robots stay on chart, nothing goes wrong or whatever. So it has already happened. So with the metaverse, and with the what's going on in the world with the health crisis, it's like those things are going to take care of themselves. And guess what? You're either going to do it too. You're either going to comply or not comply. You're either going to live or not live. If the money switches over from money to crypto, even with what happened in the world, and people were saying they're not going to take money or give change because it's a shortage of change, or this or that, different things like that. It's going to happen the same way where I was using dollars all the time. Now I open up my wallet, I have so many cards. It just happened. It just happened. You looked up and it happened, because you're going to go along with it. The issue isn't going along with something that just naturally is the way of the world. The issue is that there should be nothing in you that allows another person to overtake you. You have to understand yourself to know that nothing can just come in and overtake you. If it could, you have no life anyway. You might as well go out and just enjoy yourself and do whatever the heck you want to, because in X amount of time, something's going to just come overtake you and possess you and do whatever, have you doing horrible things or whatever. All the stuff you're scared of is going to happen anyway, so go enjoy yourself until it happens. Or take all this opportunity to work on yourself, heal yourself, get to know yourself, be yourself's best friend. Nothing can, like a AI that looks exactly like you. Like, I just had this experience the other day. I'm watching IG, and I'm like, oh my God, it looks like one of my daughters. I had to watch it a couple of times, and it just flashed in my head, because I would always say, it doesn't matter. You can have AI in the gym and my mom in there, and all of them looked alike, and I would know which one is my mom. Now, I had to watch the video a couple times. I was like, shit, that looks like my daughter. Looks just like my daughter. And I was like, whoa, that is really, like, it just brought a new level to, would you really know the people that you say you know if they weren't? And then the other side of that is just like, if I don't know, so what? I know myself.